Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. I'm really excited to share with you something that I've been working on for quite some time, a project that combines two worlds I truly enjoy, artificial intelligence and sports. The project is called Odditurus, and it's an AI-driven system designed to analyze sporting events and explore how far we can push the boundaries of big data in real-world applications. The system also is trained to identify what are known as value bets. Now, if you're not familiar with the term, a value bet is simply a situation where the odds offered by a bookmaker are higher than the true probability of the event happening. In other words, it's where the bookmaker may have mispriced the game, and that creates an opportunity. Our AI looks for exactly those situations, processing massive amounts of data to uncover edges that would be nearly impossible to spot manually. Now, to be very clear right from the beginning, this is not a typical betting tips video. And it's not about selling predictions or advertising so-called sure wins. Instead, what I'm doing is running an open testing of the tool. I want to show you how artificial intelligence can process massive amounts of information, how it can make sense of complex patterns, and how we can all observe its progress transparently, day by day. So in this video, I'll walk you through what Odditurus actually is, show you its interface, how it works under the hood, and why it's different from anything else out there. Most importantly, I'll show you everything openly, the Telegram channels, the real results, the ups and the downs, because this project is about testing the limits of AI, not about hiding behind flashy promises. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand what Odditurus does, but you'll also see why I believe projects like this can change the way we think about AI and sports analytics. And who knows, you might even want to follow along and track results of this tool. You'll find all the links I mention, including the Telegram channels, in the attachments right below this video. So what exactly is Odditurus? In the simplest words, Odditurus is an artificial intelligence model that I built to explore how far we can push AI when it comes to analyzing sports and big data. Instead of relying on gut feeling, hype, or so-called insider knowledge, this model dives into the numbers. It collects odds from more than 50 different bookmakers, processes over 200 factors, and then calculates what we call the true probability of a match outcome. And what makes it exciting is that everything is done openly. You can actually see the raw results, the wins and the losses, and follow the progress in real time. For me, this is the heart of the project, not to promise miracles, but to demonstrate how AI can work in practice, where its strengths are, and where it still has room to grow. Now let's take a closer look at how the Odditurus model actually works. As I already mentioned, the foundation of the system lies in collecting data, and it doesn't just take numbers from one source. Instead, it gathers odds from more than 50 bookmakers across the world. This wide coverage is crucial, because each bookmaker might have slightly different odds, and those differences can reveal where the market is misaligned. Once the odds are collected, the model doesn't stop there. It processes over 200 separate factors that can influence the outcome of a match. Think about team form, recent performance, injuries, player lineups, head-to-head history, and even details like whether the game is played at home or away. All of these variables are weighed and combined in a way that no human could do quickly or consistently on their own. From there, the AI compares its own calculation, what we call the true probability of an outcome, against the bookmaker's offered odds. And this is where things get interesting. Whenever the model finds that a bookmaker is offering higher odds than what the real probability suggests, that's what we call an edge, or a mispriced opportunity. These are the so-called value bets, where statistically, over the long run, you would expect to come out ahead. Now, beyond identifying value bets, the model also includes a bankroll management engine. In other words, it doesn't just point out opportunities. It also calculates how much of the bankroll should be risked on each bet, adjusting the stake depending on the level of risk and probability. So, in simple terms, Odditurus is constantly scanning the betting market, crunching data, and highlighting those rare situations where the math gives you a potential advantage, and it calculates the optimal stake in a way that makes the odds play in your favor over the long run. It's not about guessing, it's about using hard numbers and probabilities to uncover opportunities that most people would never even notice. All right, I think it's time to move from theory to something more practical. Let me actually show you how all of this looks in real life. To do that, we'll open the public Telegram channel first, because that's the entry point into the whole project. As I already mentioned, you can find links and attachments to the video. From there, you can select any language you prefer: English, Spanish, German, French, Italian, Russian, Ukrainian, Polish, whatever makes you feel most comfortable. Each private channel mirrors the same content but in your chosen language, so everyone can follow along without barriers. But for this demo, I'll stay with English. Once inside, you'll notice the structure is very straightforward. The first type of post you'll see is the AI picks, where the model shares the bets it has identified as having value. These come with all the details you need to understand the reasoning, the market type, the odds, the stake percentage, and the expected return. Then, after the games are over, you'll find daily reports. These summarize which bets won, which lost, and what the overall result for the day was. And finally, there are profit snapshots that cover several days at once, giving you a clear picture of how the tool is performing over time. The whole idea here is transparency. You don't just see a prediction thrown at you, you get to track the journey from the initial calculation to the outcome and then to the overall performance. It's all out there in the open, so you can follow the tool exactly as it unfolds. Let's check details. Here's one of the typical posts with daily AI picks. You can see at the very top it says Best Value Bets Today by AI, along with the date, the current bankroll, and the planned daily turnover. That already tells you two things. First, the system is fully automated and runs every single day. And second, it always works within a defined bankroll, which ensures risk is controlled. Now, let's break down one of these picks. Take the game between Borussia Mönchengladbach and Werder Bremen. You'll notice it says Market, totals line 3.5, and the bet is over. That simply means the model expects more than 3.5 goals in the game. Then you see the best line at odds 2.08. That's the highest available price across all the bookmakers at that moment. Below that comes the stake, which is €83, or 0.83% of the bankroll. And finally, you'll see the expected value, return of investment, here 1.80%. That number shows the mathematical edge, meaning that according to the AI's calculations, this bet has a positive expectation in the long run. The same logic applies to all the other picks on the list. Sometimes it's totals, sometimes it's moneyline outcomes like a draw or an underdog win. What matters is that each one comes with clear odds, a calculated stake, and a measurable edge. And as I already mentioned earlier, the bankroll management engine makes sure the bet size adjusts to the risk. Lower risk means a bigger stake, higher risk means a smaller stake. Or to put it very simply, the AI calculates the optimal stake in a way that makes the odds play in your favor over the long run. Now, the really interesting part is what happens after the games are played. The model automatically publishes a daily report with the results of each pick. For example, here's the report from the same date. You'll see each game listed again, but this time with a status, win or loss, and the exact net result in euros. The post ends with a day summary, turnover, net profit or loss, and margin. So you can clearly see how the tool performed. No cherry picking, no hiding. This cycle repeats every day. First the picks are published, then the results follow. And by looking at these posts side by side, you can easily track how the model's analysis translates into actual outcomes. That's the transparency I was talking about earlier. You don't just get predictions, you get the full picture from start to finish. Every few days, alongside the daily picks and reports, the model also publishes what I call a profit snapshot. Here's one as an example. It covers the period from September 14th to September 17th. Right at the top, you can see the total turnover. In this case, a little over €2,300, followed by the net result of just above €800, and finally, the margin, which is nearly 35%. These snapshots are useful because they give you a broader perspective. Instead of focusing on just one day, you can see how the AI performed over several days combined. It smooths out the natural ups and downs of individual matches and helps illustrate whether the system is building long-term value. Now, before we get carried away with numbers and snapshots, it's important to take a step back and face reality. Not every bet wins, and that's something I want to be absolutely clear about. As I already mentioned earlier, Odditurus is built to identify value bets and edges, but that doesn't mean every prediction will be correct. This is sports, and sports are unpredictable by nature. One red card, one injury, or even just an inspired performance from an underdog can completely change the outcome of a match. And honestly, that's part of the beauty of football and other sports. The surprises, the upsets, the moments nobody saw coming. If everything went exactly as the statistics suggested, the game would lose a big part of its excitement. So when you follow this channel, remember that the real goal here is not to eliminate uncertainty, but to see how artificial intelligence can adapt, learn, and improve over time. It's about testing the limits of data analysis, observing how the model handles both good days and bad days, and gradually building a picture of where AI shines and where it still struggles. That's the essence of Odditurus, a transparent, ongoing tool in marrying technology with the unpredictability of sport. So why does all of this actually matter? Well, first of all, it's because the whole project is completely transparent. As we discussed before, every pick, every result, every snapshot is published openly, so you can see the process in action without anything hidden behind paywalls or vague promises. That makes Odditurus not just about sports, but also about education. It's a way to learn how data-driven decisions are made, how probabilities are calculated, and how AI can be applied to a field where uncertainty is part of the game. Another important point is that everything here is entirely free. There are no ads, no affiliate links, and no paid VIP tips. I'm not trying to sell predictions or convince anyone to gamble. Instead, this is purely an experiment in exploring the boundaries of artificial intelligence. And that makes it different from most things you'll see online, where the ultimate goal is usually profit rather than learning. Finally, what excites me the most is that this isn't a finished product. It's a living, evolving project. With every new match and every new data set, the AI adapts and improves. That means the Odditurus you see today is already smarter than it was yesterday, and tomorrow it will be smarter still. In many ways, following this project is like watching AI grow up in real time, learning from its own successes and mistakes. And that, to me, is what makes it truly worth paying attention to. So if all of this sounds interesting to you, the best way to get involved is very simple. Start by following the public Telegram channel. That's where you'll find a short description of the project, along with all the links. From there, you can choose your private channel in the language that's most comfortable for you. Whether it's English, Spanish, German, French, Italian, Russian, Ukrainian, or Polish. The content is the same, just localized so you can follow along without any barriers. And as I've already mentioned several times, this is a completely free and open for everyone. There are no hidden subscriptions, no paid tips, no ads. The entire idea is to share the progress of the AI transparently, so you can watch how it evolves and judge the results for yourself. All you need to do is subscribe and track the journey, day by day, pick by pick, report by report. So let me close by saying thank you for being here and for taking the time to explore Odditurus with me. I truly believe this is only the beginning, and every single day the model is becoming smarter, sharper, and more capable. If you decide to join us, you'll be right there in the front row, watching AI learn and adapt in real time. And honestly, that's an adventure worth following. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. It's a simple way to support the project, which I happily finance on my own, so that everyone can enjoy Odditurus AI completely for free.